All right, what we have here, I might get rid of those quick, is this is for your comic strip. All right, I want this comic strip to be part of what you already have. This should be somehow included into your module that you're doing for the semester. Make it an introduction, make it some sort of conversation that has become somehow pertinent to your topic, okay? The other thing that I want you to do, which I've already done, I just want to just show you how to, if you go to home here and then player, I want your player to look like, and it'll show up here, like this, okay? What you're going to want to do is go through here and uncheck everything. You probably have a resources when you do that. Some of you had a menu. I do not want any of that, okay? Get rid of all of those to include the title. I don't need a title or anything. Just have a real clean, nothing but the content here, okay? The other thing that I'd like you to do is get rid of the back and the next. We're going to be making our own, and because the goal is for this to appear as if it was not created in Storyline. One way you can do that is here in the story view. If you were to click on this first slide, you can see here in the bottom right, it says buttons. I have previous and I have next. You want to unclick those. You can keep the swipe if you'd like. I'm not going to for this. You can keep that if you'd like. But essentially, just have nothing really going on screen. And I do that because if you look at this slide now, really nice and clean, right? We have really just the framework of what's happening and nothing else in the way. And it's going to be hard-pressed for anybody to see this was made out of anything but Storyline, so you're going to be okay there. I'll go ahead and turn this on, double-click. Now, what we're going to do is create this very timely right here in the first one. I'm going to get through that. And in this first one is going to be all in the base layer. Everything that you're going to want to do right here. Then we're going to move on into creating layers. But for now, everything goes on the top left is the base layer, okay? So I'm going to go, and first we're going to start this off with some characters. I'm going to pick, let's see, Amber here. I'm going to go with some sort of hospital scene, right? So I'm going to go here. Need to give this some room. So there's Amber. I'm definitely going to name her. Keep it easy. And I'm going to crop it. We've done all of this, right? And then Amber is here, and she's going to want to holler out to a friend, just like we did. You know that's nothing more than states, right? So I'm going to go down into states. Amber is my book, so I need to add a new chapter by hitting Edit States. Just going to duplicate this. I'm going to call it, asking, or talking. Let's see what talking does. Talking, good, it's good. So I have Amber in a talking pose, and next I'm going to put in my caption. You can see that I've already set my default to keep it nice and clean. I'm going to work with, I'm just going to say Carl. Hey, Carl. That. Is that you? Question mark? I don't know why it sets that. I really don't. I've tried. So I'm going to set that off. Make it legible. So there she is yelling away. More inquisitive than mean. But we know we don't want that to show up right away. We want that to be on the timeline. So this is 3 seconds. What I want to show you now is this. I want to go ahead and I want to throw in a cue point. So you can see my playhead there. As I click along in these numbers, that blue thing follows me along. If you right-click anywhere, so it says Create Cue Point. See that? When you do that, it leaves a little number thing there. And I like to use these because it leaves some room for error. And you'll understand that as I progress here. So here I have Amber. I have Amber changing to a state of talking. And I want to do that when it reaches about 1 second of this cue point here. So that we know how to do, right? Change state of Amber to talk. No, wait, talking? Or was it asking? Talking. when the timeline reaches, which we've done before, last time we did time, this time I want you to show us this cue point there. So when I do that cue point, you see the number 1 came up to coincide with that. If there was others, they would be listed here, but they're not. So that's good, right? So now the thing is, if I want to add, subtract, move some things around, I can just move this cue point, and that doesn't matter. So for instance, I'll have this up here at 2 seconds. There we have Amber. There she's asking away. That did seem like a long time. All I have to do is pull this down to 1 second. See that? Preview this slide. And I didn't have to change my code or anything. Whereas if I would have had to use time, I would have to go back into the code and change it to 1. So that's all fine and good. Now we need Carl, right? So I'm going to go to Insert, Character. I'm going to look for Carl. Okay, got Carl here. And I'm going to make him just a little bit smaller because his head is very enormous compared to hers. There we go. We'll put him on stage. We know exactly what to do here. We're going to crop. And that's all fine and good. We want him to animate on the stage, right? Animations. We know that's, we're just going to do a quick fly in. Make sure he comes in from the left. And that's about good there, right? And we want him to come in after she asks her question is in, so that's what we're going to have to do after our cue point here, right? About there. Now we also know that we want Carl to change after he animates in and respond to Amber. We know that's a chapter within the book, so we're going to go to States. Actually, now I'm going to do quick. I'm going to call him Carl on the timeline and all. I'm going to go to States. I'm going to edit States. You know that I'm going to go ahead and do this. And I'm going to pick, I guess happy, right? Oh no, she's going to be happy. So we'll do talking with him too. And we're going to do talking, and we'll also add a bubble. We have that all kind of planned out here. Put this here as such. Fill it in. Amber. That's it. Need something? So he's on there already. He can just tell she can ask for a favor. Now, what do we know? We know that we don't want this question to be asked or his pose to change until that animation of him cruising on screen ends. You know how to do that, right? So we're going to say done editing. We're going to come up here. And we're going to say change the state of Carl to, goodness, what do I keep doing? Keep doing talking? What do I do asking? Talking. But I'm going to go here and then animation completes. Well, the animation is the one that's on Carl, right? So I'm going to do that, and then I click entrance. So we should be good here. Let me go ahead and click preview the slide. So she's talking, and then he's talking. There you have it. Everything seems nice as far as the timing, but then we're getting a little crazy up here. So there's other things that we need to happen. We also need Amber to be happy. So I'm just going to go ahead and duplicate normal and go to happy here. See, so she's happy that he's there. But we don't want her to be happy until he is in that asking state, right? So let's verify that chapter here, talking, sorry. So we're going to come back up here and we're going to say change the state of Amber to happy. But that's only when the state of Carl, so here's Carl, is talking. There we go, one more time, back and forth. She's asking, Now he's asking, and she's happy about it. But now we go into that next element where she needs to now ask something. I am not a big fan of design that things happen automatically. I'd like the user to get ready and to input when this happens. So what we need to add here is a continue button or some sort of prompt that we, the user, can say, all right, go ahead and move this on. We're going to do that by adding a button, right? So I'm going to go, and I want that button here in this state, right? So edit states. But if I'm in the Carl state, right, or the chapter of this book, and I go to insert, and then I come over here, button, I can't. And I don't have an option to do so. So I need to find out a way to put a button right here in this area without even seeing it. And I can do that by going up to view and doing, is it really, guides. So these guides here, you can see, well, ironically, is already in a pretty good spot. Move this over here. Maybe I want it to be like this, a little lower. So you can see maybe right here on this line, if I were to put a continue button, it is going to appear very nicely within this animation. So I'm going to hit done editing, and there it is. So now I can go to insert, click on button, and I'm just going to pick any old button because I don't like to have a fill on my buttons, and I also don't like to have a border. I just like the button so I can say CONTINUE. Of course, I'm going to have to make this normal. I don't need to bold it either. So continue. Maybe I'll just wrap it and give it a little bit of a button look to it, right? But now the thing is, we know our animation has her talking, then him talking, so this continue button should not be on there right away. We also don't want to convolute our triggers panel too much, right? So what I can do is come over here, have my continue button. I could move it around on my timeline, but conveniently and nicely what I can do is just simply set my state originally to hidden, right? And also I want to get rid of, so edit states, I don't want these hovers there. I want a down state. So I'm done editing, but now that this initial state is hidden, I can go ahead and, even though that button appears to be right there, because it's set to hidden, when I test this slide, now she's talking, now he's talking, and that button's not there. But I do want that button to appear when he is in his state of, I keep forgetting what it is, so give me a minute, talking. So I want this normal, this continue button to go from hidden to normal when Carl is in his talking, right? So we have that already, don't we? Right here. So we can change the state of there. So all we have to do is copy that, put it down here, paste it, and simply say, just make sure it's right. So change the state of continue to normal when the state of Carl, see how that's already connected because we copied and pasted, is talking. Now when I preview this, there she is. Hey, everything happens the way that we want. So now we have this continue button. We know that this continue button means we're opening up, we're ready to have Amber now ask a question. So again, we don't need to hide this, we don't need to do that, we don't need to get too tricky. All we have to do now is come down to edit states, and I need that talk bubble, right? Because she's going to be asking a question. So I'm going to click duplicate and go to asking. And then you can see with duplicate and asking that everything is where I need it. All I have to do now is type in a question. One thing I want to be careful of is you can see in my asking, like her hand comes over. So I'm going to go up to do what? Double click, crop, and move her hand like this. I know we're not looking at awards here, but let's make it about as authentic as we can, right? So now she's going to say, well, dot, dot, dot. Can you work for me this weekend? Okay? So we have this asking. We now know that we want that continue button to change the state of Amber to asking. So here we go. I got continue. I'm going to say change the state of Amber to asking. Okay, there we go. Then the user clicks continue. So that is nice. Let's check this out. Amber, Carl, we're settled. Now I can ask. Oh, so she is asking, which is nice. What we didn't do was get rid of this state. Like we probably want Carl to get into a different state. We don't want this here anymore. We certainly need that continue button there, right? Again, no reason to treat these things individually. We can just click on Carl, go to Edit States. I'm going to duplicate the first one this time. And this time I'm just going to go into a thinking. Let's see what this thinking pose is. Nice. It's nice. So I'm done editing that. So now I can also say, with that continue button, change the state of Carl to thinking. And do that when the user clicks continue. Okay? But again, remember that continue button is going to be there. We don't need it anymore, right? Because we've already continued this on for Amber to ask her question. So we also want to, and this is going to seem weird, but we're going to actually set it, change the state of the actual button that we're clicking, so continue, to hidden when the user clicks continue. And here we go. We have our little interaction going on here. We have Amber. Hey. Now something's happening, so we as the user get to say when. Now she's asking the question, and he's thinking. That is part one of the video, and what you can imagine is we're going to populate now our yes and no to coincide whatever Carl's reaction is to her wanting to work.